The day's finally here. The day's finally here. We finally get to move on to part 2 of the lemon tree cuttings. I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been taking a peek at the roots this whole time for the past couple months. I'm liking the progress. I'm liking it. We have some successes. We have some failures. But a lot more successes than failures. The ones that we thought were gonna fail, failed. The ones that we thought were gonna be successful, we're pretty successful. So I'm excited to show y'all how that's gonna look. Just a quick thing to note as far as something that we're gonna be doing, the pots that we're gonna be using this time. Normally, whenever I up pot something, I tend to put them in this, which is a 6x6, and I have bigger pots out there which are 12x12s. But this go round, I went ahead and picked up some 9x9s. So we're gonna try those this go round. So I have 3 of these and I have 6 of these. Gonna be mixing up some of those, try to give the roots a little bit more room, but not too much room to where everything's gonna be holding water, because it's wintertime now, or at least going into wintertime. So now it's time to start bringing those trees inside. They're gonna start slowing down what they do. So you're not gonna be watering as much. So you don't want the container to be too big, because then that holds too much water. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm excited to show y'all what's going on. So let's go. Come on. All right, so this is what everything inside of the little humidifier looked like. And like I said, we've had, let me see if I can get in. We've had some failures, but we also, let me see if I can find them real quick. Boom, right there, I'm tripping. There we go. We have some successes, so that's what we're working with right now. So we have a lot of good news. The main thing is that we still have this green, right? So if you're doing this with me, you probably had some shoots come out like that. You can see that you probably had some different shoots that came out. I'm already zoomed in. You probably had some shoots that came out. Probably had a couple of different leaf nodes to kind of come out. You might have even had some flowers try to come out. You might have had all that type of stuff come out. But this is what everything kind of looks like for right now. And so I'll give y'all a little bit of a closer look at the roots to show you the successes and the failures. Okay, so like I mentioned before, we have some successes, we've had some failures. So this is one of the failures. It's dried out, leaves fell. There are absolutely no roots here. So that one's a failure. It happens, but hey, it is what it is. Now, as for one of the successes, that's one of the successes. And the roots are like that. Now, I know last time we had made the slits in there to keep the roots from coming out. Obviously, that didn't happen. Yeah, obviously that didn't happen. The roots still came out, man. But it is what it is. So what we're going to have to do for each one of those slits, in between each one, I'm going to try to be as careful as I can and cut in between there, in between that slit and that slit, so that whenever I pull this out, I don't have to worry about that root getting pinched by them 2 pieces, by this end and this end. I ain't gonna worry about them getting pinched and getting cut off, because these roots are super delicate. They just coming on out. So let's go ahead and get everything repotted. Alright, so we got a little bit of a change of plans. So what I've decided to do, instead of doing each one the same mixture, I'm gonna run another experiment within an experiment. Told y'all I'm bad about that to begin with. So already have, let's put that in the frame. I'm gonna be mixing up another batch of the 511 soil mixture to go inside of the 9x9 container. I'm not too sure how much I have to end up mixing up, so instead of just doing one part for each. I'm gonna be doubling the recipe, so essentially it's still gonna be a 5-1-1, but instead of just doing everything one at a time, I'm just gonna put 2 parts of soil, 2 parts of perlite, then 2 parts of the mulch. So I'm gonna do that. This is one so far, so y'all gonna be seeing me do that other one and then move all the stuff around and get everything else done. But the plan is I'm gonna have one of the 511 mix. Since I have 3 of the bigger containers, let me do on one of the 511 mix. I should have some potting soil. Yeah, I got some potting soil over there, so I'm gonna do one of just potting soil, and then I'm gonna do one of the actual mix that we got inside of here. So it'll be one of the 511 mix, one of potting soil, one of the mix in here, just kind of see, what works and what doesn't. Before we start actually adding in the wood chips, we're gonna spray down this perlite. You don't want all that dust kicking up while you mixing everything in later on, and then you try to water it after you put the mulch on there, but the water's only hitting the mulch, just not hitting the actual perlite, so we're gonna water it down some. Kind of tamp it down. Alright, we got that. So now, we can start with mulch. You see how it is? This is why we're using the palm bark mulch. You see it's already kind of starting to break down. Not sure if you can see how broken down a lot of it is starting to be already. You still got bigger chunks. That's what you want, because eventually it's going to turn, all this is going to turn just back to, so that's really what soil is. Like if you go to the forest, like all the forest is just broken down leaves and wood and poop and all that other type of stuff. So this is already kind of pretty much there. So that's what we're doing. That's why we add that. 1. Yeah, y'all can see. 2. 3. 4. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Take all this and mix it up, and I'll be back. Alright, so we got everything mixed up. So you can see that's what that looks like. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put my gloves back on. Alright, so we're kind of gonna do this little, we're gonna do it like how you kind of do a sandcastle, but in reverse. So I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So we're gonna fill up the bottom of this with some soil first, and then we're gonna place down a cup or something in a similar size. I got a cup that's sitting over there. I'm gonna put a cup inside of here, then finish filling out the rest of it, and then we remove that cup. It's gonna have that what do they call it? It's gonna have that hole that's there. It's gonna be the same size as the cup that we're gonna move the trees from. Put it in here, finish filling it up, and keep it moving. So we're gonna do that it's gonna be the same for all of them. Now, one thing I did do whenever I was mixing this, I did make sure that all this is wet beforehand. So that makes it a little bit easier to kind of pack in. Like I said, same thing with the sandcastle. It makes it a little bit easier for it to hold its mold. So we're gonna fill this up with that and move on to the next part. Okay, so I'm about, I want to say about halfway. I can't really see, but I think I'm filled up to about right there. So yeah, I'm about halfway. So now is when I'm gonna take a cup. Okay, so we got the cup. That's gonna make sure you have it centered. I don't want to fill it up all the way up here. I'm gonna stop it at this line down here. I'm not sure if you can see that. I think you can see. You might be seeing it on this one. I'm gonna fill up to this line. I don't want to fill it right here. Fill it about right there. So I'm gonna dig that down a little bit. That's about where I want the hole to be at. I'm gonna take it and just actually normally I do it with a cup because that makes it a little bit easier to put some things in. Take it. Now let's say for instance if this was too low. If this cup was too low, I want to raise it up a little bit. All I do is just lift it up and shake this to settle it, and that's where it's gonna be at. I think this might end up being too low, so we might be able to see that, but I don't know. I gotta be careful because we got a wasp flying around, and I don't need my wife freaking out. So see it? That's about where I wanted it, so I take it, jiggle a little bit, and now we got the hole. So now the next tricky part is figuring out which plant to put in here. So let me take some time to do that. Then I'll come back and show y'all what we did. That's the one that I'm thinking about doing is right here. This is the one I'm thinking about doing right here. I'm gonna do this one. This is what I showed y'all earlier. Just look at all them roots. Roots coming through. I also got to do something a little bit different because, like I said, they're coming through. Do I have my little shears out here? Nope, I'm gonna go get my shears. So I already showed y'all what I plan on doing with the shears. So let me go get the shears and I'll knock that out. Okay, so I wasn't able to find the little nippers, so I had to use some little joints I'll be using for crochet stuff. So like I said, what I'm gonna end up having to do, this would be a good time to be left-handed, but I'm gonna cut. So there's a slit right here, and there's a slit right here. I'm gonna cut in between them slits so that root can come out smooth, and I'm gonna do that all the way around this cup. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Try to do it real careful. I think I'm gonna go above it. There we go. Okay. Down. I'm gonna go up under. Okay. Cut it out so that it looks like that. Which is essentially what the first what's the thing called? That's essentially what the first type of cup when I told you that just makes those little slits inside of his. That's essentially what the hole looks like. So I mean, I guess that's what you can do it in, but that's the whole point of doing these experiments. You know, do it how you want to do it. I want to do mine this way. It's worked before. This time clearly it didn't, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so that's what it looks like going all the way around the cup. There we go. So now we're gonna take it. Try to get it out. So, ooh, don't move it too much. Be careful with them roots. Okay. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. All the way around. Now normally that mixture that I had, they would normally stick together. At least in the past, it stuck together for me. But this time it didn't. So what's gonna end up happening? It's still good. Try your best not to, mess with any of the roots. That's what it looks like. Take that, and we're gonna put it down inside of there. Pretty much as deep as we want to. I'm gonna put it down to the bottom of that hole where we got it at, and instead of having everything kind of collapse over it, I'm gonna take that soil that actually got knocked into it. We're pouring everything in gently. Put everything in there. Right? And then now you start backfilling that hole in. The beauty with this is that you can bring it up, as much as you want to. That soil level. You can bring that soil level as high up as you want to. Because it's not grafted, so you got to worry about nothing really being buried, just burying the roots. So, that. Make sure it's straight. It's sitting how you want to sit it. Give it a good shake to settle in. And that's how that's gonna be. Now, the way that I have mine looking right now, I would love to have this coming up a little bit more. Like I said, you can see it's a little bit below the soil level is below that line. I wanted it up to that line, a little bit past that line. So I would want it to be a little bit higher up, but the roots is real delicate. This is just gonna have to be what it is. So now, what I do from this point, I take the cup that I had. Oh, I forgot to put that here. So I'm gonna knock all these out, and then I'll go ahead and double back. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take this cup, just put it inside the container. Move that container to the side. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take the rest. I should have some soil. If I still got, I don't know if I got topsoil left. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure if I got topsoil left. I am not 100% sure if I got. So I don't want to do this with y'all. I don't want to do it. Okay, so this is what we gonna do. I switched up the. Hey, wife. So I switched up the shutter speed, so that might change the quality of the video a little bit. So you might have not seen the first part pretty good, but hey man, we're here now, so we gonna see. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this potting soil. This I really don't want to use. No, I take that back. This is the sphagnum peat moss. This ain't So yeah, let's put this back. This ain't what I thought it was. Not mine. We going back what we was gonna do the first time. Anyway, so we're gonna do. We're gonna take the rest of this. We're gonna take the rest of this 511 and throw it in there and keep it shaking, keep it moving. That's what we got for this one. You see that root coming from right here? That joke will run all the way around. Same thing with this one right here. Is that right here? Run all the way around. So, we're gonna do it like how we did the last one. Take it out of the way. I want it to be about right there. Make sure it's straight. Backfill it. Backfill it. Again, take the cup that it was in.